Get money, yeah. Get money, yeah. Get money, yeah. Get money, yeah. This for my old school Chevy Cutlass Regal.
Welcome everybody to another live edition of First and Goal with me, your host, Jay in the UP, and
Dave at Egg and Cheese on Twitter. You know me well, folks.
And you can always hit us up on Facebook. Now our new Facebook page, First and Goal Podcast. Get the page, like it, follow it. Follow us on Twitter at First and Goal Pod. You can always email the show at First and Goal. It's First and Goal Radio at yahoo.com. Or you can always get us on our YouTube channel, Spotify, SoundCloud, Tumblr. Search First and Goal. Follow, like, spread the show. Even if you're not going to listen, retweet us, all that great stuff. Thank you very much.
Whew, this is a fun episode that we're doing. I like it.
All right, we can delve right into it right away. Let's get right into it, Dave. It is time for
draft review.
Draft review. All right. Well, we did the first round review, so we'll quickly go over that. The Rashawn Gary and Darnell Savage. Right away, we will come back to the Darnell Savage, so we'll skip the Savage because we're going to get deeper into that later, okay? Right away with Rashawn Gary. What do you got to say about Rashawn Gary?
So, everyone's been saying it's a waste of a pick, the stats weren't there, he was a bust in college. All I'm going to say, folks, is I did some research. In high school, Rashawn... No. I agree with you. I'm just saying, for all the haters out there, here's some information. In high school, I went back and watched his tape. It's on YouTube. You can go watch it. He was defensive end, defensive line, switch out, and he would do that just like as Darius Smith would do now. But he was 20 pounds heavier at the time when he was that. And his stats were off the charts because he was on the line where he was meant to be. Michigan, if anybody goes and looks at the Michigan tape, you're going to see the guy's really good at run defense, 20 pounds lighter, and the 20 pounds lighter didn't make a difference because they put him at outside linebacker on the for the edge, and it just didn't matter. And Michigan misused him for all those years they had him. If you go back and want a true Rashawn Gary tape, go watch his high school tape, folks. I'm telling you, you're going to see the guy you're getting, and I was amazed at it, especially. One makes me think, why would Michigan make him lose 20 pounds? Okay, let's see. They can try and see if they can get him off the edge and beat the tackles. He didn't get any faster, but Michigan never had him put on the muscle again. So that means they just completely kind of put him to the wayside and was worrying about other players, in my opinion. If they really weren't worrying about him, then if they were truly worrying about him, in my opinion, they would have had him go back to what he did in high school. Play defensive end, defensive tackle, switch out, going back and forth for out exterior and interior pass rush and run defense. If you really want the tape, folks, go look at it. Rashawn Gary is going to have he's going to be a good player for the Packers because he's going to come in. I think he's going to fill in for Daniels, rotating in and out this year. They're going to get him snaps early, right off the bat in the season.
Well, here's another thing, though. He's not only just a rotational guy, he's a key piece because they play a lot of sub packages, and the guy can not only he's 6'4" and 2/3,
275,
and ran a 4.58. He ran faster than Jordy Nelson and Devontae Adams did at the combine. Okay, just wrap your head around that. And he's 277.
And he was just as fast, 20 pounds heavier. That if you add on the muscle and put him back on the line where he belongs, I'm telling you, he's going to be a monster. And especially when Gutekunst had his presser, he even said, word for word, he's going to start off in the outside linebacker room, but he's also going to be in the defensive line room. He's going to be there because that's what we want.
Za'Darius
so
Smith.
That means no, I understand that.
No,
but
Za'Darius Smith is the perfect person to be Rashawn Gary to go with, because Rashawn Gary is still. Let's be clear. Rashawn Gary walking into the Packers defensive room right now, he's the most talented as it is right now, bar none. I'm sorry. I love Kenny Clark, but Rashawn Gary, for his size, his speed, and his traits, is the most talented defensive player walking into the room right now, outside of the DBs, because that's just a different beast. I mean, you need to wrap your head around that.
I think Goody went ahead and watched the high school tape and watched what he could be again at 20 pounds heavier. I think they will have him bulk up again, and because he was just as fast. He was running at 4.59, 20 pounds heavier while playing defensive line. The guy can move, and he had the strength at the time to do it. That's why I think he was having labrum problems, to be honest. Michigan had him drop to 20 pounds, lost some muscle mass, and weakened his shoulder. That's my opinion. I think Michigan used him wrong. I don't, and everyone says, oh, he's just another Nick Perry. No, he's not. Nick Perry went from a 4-3 to a 3-4, trying to become an edge outside linebacker at the same weight, and that was a reach, 110%. I never liked Perry pick. I never will. It was ugly. And the fact that people are comparing him to the Perry when Gary's traits are off the charts.
Gary has
so much untapped potential
with their fifth round pick, Kingsley Keke, the defensive tackle out of Texas A&M, who was used outside consistently, but is very good at stunts. But all the scouts say that he actually was misused on the outside, on the edge. That even in a 3-4, with his ability to get upfield and how strong he is. And
with his power to get on guard, it's ridiculous.
He's going to play inside in sub packages. You guys, I mean, they walked away in this draft, and we're going to go back to this because of the Savage thing. This is going to go back into the Savage thing, and we'll get back into it more. It's more of a teaser. But this is exactly why the giving away the 2 4th-round picks to get Savage, to me, with what they ended up walking away, when I look at it completely on paper here, Dave, they have all contributors right now. There's no projects here. There might be guys that, like Gary, that maybe not live up to their athletic talent the way you hope, but he's going to contribute nonetheless, because the pressure isn't all on him with the guys he's walking into, even though he's the most physically gifted guy, like we just said.
Agreed. Pettine will know how to use him. If there's a handful of coordinators, like 4 or 5 coordinators, Pettine is one of those coordinators that is able to unlock talent with players. That's why he had guys last year like Raven Green playing at a high level whenever he got snaps. Like, it's just a name drop. I love Raven Green as a player and how raw he is, but still, perfect example. There's so many players that I think played over to what they were actually worth last year with the defensive talent we had at the time. And now we have what Gutekunst did in this draft to pick up on the defensive line, even the inside linebacker later on. They're all top physical traits. He's going on the athletic side, and Packers haven't been athletic in a long while, and it feels good to finally have a defense that can sport that on the field.
And speaking of athletic, when you watch ESPN anymore, I've always watched them, from day one, because of who I kind of, I've always said, but Stuart Scott. And I'm sorry, but I'm kind of done with them now, because they just don't analyze anything anymore. They're like just into news spewing headlines. It's ridiculous. So I turn back over to NFL Network, and they will tell you the negative, but at least they'll actually talk, and give you the pros and cons of each player. And really, they love the Packers draft. Again, Ellington Jenkins, the guard, tackle, Elton Jenkins, the guard, tackle, center. The only position this kid hasn't played is right guard. I'm telling you, we talked about it before in some of our
He's going to be a left guard. I'm sorry, he's too good.
Playing left guard, and I think he's a plug. And they all say all the scout. I read 10 scouting reports, and all 9 of the 10 of them all had the same scouting. The negative con report was from DraftNetwork.com. So they were all 15 different ones. 10 of them were similar, 10 different ones, and 9 of them were all similar in saying this, different positive stuff, but it all came down to this is a plug and play guy right away on the offensive line. Shea Sternberger,
the fact that he has experience at all 3 positions of the center, guard, and tackle is huge.
Kingsley Keke, they said right away, is that you can use him, plug him right into the defensive tackle position in sub packages, and he is a third down sub package interior pass rusher day one. That's a 5th round pick. Okay, Holloman and Dexter Williams in the 6th round.
Kadar was done in Kadar, Holloman. I like him. He's got some speed to him. Gutekunst, that's one thing I've seen. He loves his speed. And Holloman, I watched a little bit of his tape.
Stud.
Oh, no. I'm going to get to Dexter. Hold on a second. Kadar, I watched a little bit of his tape. He kind of reminds me a little bit of Shields the way he plays. He's right up in the receiver's face as soon as the ball snaps. He's not a couple yards off. He is right face mask on face mask. And that, to me, shows aggressiveness. Gutekunst likes aggressiveness. He's probably one of those, the only one in this whole draft class I'll call a project if there is one. I won't call him a project because I think he's got the aggressiveness to come in as like a dime DB when we need him. Oh, yeah, no, I agree. I'm just saying his play style is near the same. And then Dexter Williams. My God, how the hell did we land this guy in the 6th round? At 5'11", he's 215 to 220. He is a hammer. And the thing is, he's a zone read guy. What does LaFleur run? A zone read system. And he's going to pass blocking.
For the zone stretch system that they run.
Yep.
Perfect is the word described.
You couldn't ask for a 3rd-string running back because LaFleur system, they use their running backs. Guess what? You just got your Derrick. I'm not saying he is Derrick Henry, but you just got your Derrick Henry. There's your hammer.
Yeah. Well, Williams is the other Williams too. That's already there. He's got a physical run style too.
He's physical, but he's got that slice and move type. Like he's got a nasty jump cut, man. Frickin' Jones, he's that twitch running back. He's able to be patient. Williams is that jump cut, slender, tall running back that's able to kind of move and groove. Williams, if you get in his way, he's just going to hammer you, and he's got good balance for a big man. It's like,
and then at 226 here, they get Ty Summers, the linebacker from TCU, who, again, isn't, he's not an every down guy. But again, when you're looking at the value and what they can do, he's a sub-package guy and a special teams guy. And it's just like, how many picks do you really need? When I saw the haul on Twitter, Dave, that they're trying to compare and say, I would have rather had that haul than Darnell Savage, because that's where we're going with this.
Wait, they'd rather have who?
Well, the haul that people are saying that the Seahawks got because they traded back with Green Bay, got those 2 4th-round picks, and some other guys, they got like 5 or 6 players they named off when we got Savage, right? And they're trying to say they would rather have all those players than just Savage. And they were pissed that we traded back because we could have traded back from those 4th round and done something similar and had more players. And because we have all these holes. Where are people getting all these holes from? I don't understand it.
Yeah, I don't see all these To me, Gutekunst checked the holes in the box for the draft. Out of those draft picks, you look.
Obviously, the receivers, they're comfortable enough, and they can still add talent there. There's other veterans still available.
They signed 3 wide receivers in the undrafted, and Packers have always been a team to find those black diamonds in the rough in undrafted. But to me, you have Adams, you have Allison, MVS, ESV,